How do you know when you're being used as a prop in someone's lie? Last month, this woman Bella approached me at a coffee shop and slid me $500. She whispered, "I need you to be my boyfriend for one night at my high school reunion." I nearly spit out my latte. Bella was stunning in that expensive engineering executive way with perfect hair and designer clothes, but she seemed genuinely nervous as she explained her situation. She told me she'd been brutally bullied in high school and couldn't face going alone. She showed me her old yearbook photos where she looked completely different with thick glasses, braces, and about 50 extra pounds. She said the abuse had been relentless. Kids locked her in the equipment closet during gym class and left her there overnight until a janitor found her. They poured soup all over her during lunch and made her clean it up while everyone laughed and took photos. The worst one was this girl named Trisha, who organized most of the torture and once made her lick food off the cafeteria floor in front of the entire school. Trisha had also apparently pushed her down a full flight of concrete stairs, breaking her wrist and giving her a concussion that landed her in the hospital for 3 days. She'd even organized a group of kids to corner her in the locker room and beat her so badly she had to get stitches and missed 2 weeks of school. Bella's hands shook as she told me these stories. It was clear she'd completely transformed herself after graduation, since she got into engineering and made 6 figures but was still single and terrified of facing her tormentors. The money was good, and honestly I felt bad for her, so I agreed. Bella coached me for hours on our fake relationship backstory. We'd been dating for 2 years and met at an engineering conference. She made me memorize details about her current life, and later she bought me an expensive suit and watch. She kept repeating how important it was that these people see her as successful and happy. I started thinking maybe this wasn't just about revenge, but about healing and closure. The reunion was at a fancy hotel, and Bella looked absolutely incredible. I held her hand and made sure everyone knew how successful and amazing she was. As the night went on, I started noticing something that made my stomach turn. A blonde woman approached us with a genuine smile and told Bella how amazing she looked. Bella's face twisted into something cruel, and she ended up telling her, "I saw on Facebook you're still working at the same dead-end job. That must be really fulfilling for someone with your limited options." The woman's face crumpled, and she walked away, looking devastated. When a guy came over and apologized for not being nicer in high school, Bella laughed coldly and said, "Don't worry, I wouldn't expect someone who peaked in high school to be any better. How's that community college degree working out?" I watched in horror as Bella destroyed person after person who approached her with kindness. When a quiet girl approached nervously and said she'd always admired Bella's intelligence, Bella viciously replied, "That's sweet. I heard you never recovered from that eating disorder. I can see you still struggle with food." The girl ran away crying, and I felt sick to my stomach. Everything clicked into place when I overheard the crying girl talking to the blonde woman in the hallway. She was sobbing about how Bella was still the same person who had called her fat every single day until she stopped eating completely. She'd been hospitalized because of Bella's relentless cruelty. The blonde woman mentioned rumors about welfare that Bella had spread just out of jealousy when someone got into honors classes. My blood ran cold as I realized the truth. Bella hadn't been the bullied kid she'd claimed to be. She had been the bully. These people she was now torturing again were her actual victims from high school. The stories she'd told me about being locked in closets and forced to lick food off floors weren't things that had happened to her. They were things she had done to others. I went back to Bella and pretended I didn't know the truth until Trisha finally showed up fashionably late. Trisha approached cautiously and tried to offer what seemed like a genuine apology, and I realized Trisha also wasn't the monster Bella had described. She was just another victim. That's when I made my move. I put my arm around Bella and announced loudly enough for everyone nearby to hear, "You know what, babe? I think it's time we told everyone you paid me $500 to pretend to be your boyfriend because you're still the same pathetic person you were in high school. You clearly couldn't find anyone to love you and your disgusting personality after all these years." Bella's face went from confused to horrified as the words sank in. The entire room went silent and then erupted in whispers. I walked away, leaving Bella standing there completely exposed.